Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so man, yeah, Laker stuff, man, Laker stuff. I don't even know if I have anything new to say, man. Just want to commend Rob Pelinka on completing the deals. It took a lot of cojones, so to speak, to do what he did. And I hear a lot of the same people who were saying that he was holding, the picks too long, wasn't doing his job. What are you waiting for? Make a move and all this. Those are the same people up here very pleased with the Luka Doncic trade, fairly pleased with the Mark Williams trade. And it's like he only had those picks because he did what he did to piss y'all off. Y'all know that, right? That's the only reason why he even had the picks, to do it. Because he held on to them despite y'all chirping and burping about how he needed to trade those picks sooner for role players that you chose. Like I kept telling y'all, you got to wait for the right opportunity. And y'all see what it came down to? That's the right opportunity, not just, we got to trade our picks to go all in. No, you got to wait for the market to be pleased with you. Imagine what we would have done if we would have gave away 2 picks for Walker Kessler. No Luka Doncic, no Mark Williams. Oh, we need to trade it for Cam Johnson and Deron Sharp for 2 first-round picks. All that stupid nonsense. Oh, yeah, we're going to do that. And miss out on Luka the Don, right? This is why I said what I said. Not because I just wanted to hold those picks and ultimately draft them. Not necessarily. So that we could trade them for the right thing when the right thing came along. And until you saw it, it wasn't available to you. So that's what I want to say. I've been wrong about a lot of things, including this trade deadline. But what I wasn't wrong about is holding on to those picks to the right moment. Holding them until you see something that's actually worth them. And that situation is always coming around. For those who remember me saying this more than once, that this is like double dutch. The play in the market is like double dutch. You can jump in off timing and have rope around your damn neck and get welts on your face. Or you can watch how they're spinning the damn thing and then jump in when your timing is right and go with the flow of the thing. That's the essence of what it is that he was doing the whole time. And y'all was just saying, we got to make a move. Got to make a move. That is what would have kept you from getting Luka Doncic. That's exactly what that would have done. You wouldn't have had the picks necessary to make the trade. So or pick necessary. And that's what it was. I look at that situation and I say, man, the Lakers ain't made out like complete bandits, because one thing that's not being discussed in regards to this Luka Doncic trade is how much Anthony Davis we ultimately got before we traded him away. 6 years of him. We had him between the ages of 26 and 31 or something like that, if my math is correct. Like, that is prime Anthony Davis years. Prime Anthony Davis years, and we moved out of there right before his prime was ultimately over. We gave Dallas a very good version of him, but he ain't going to be that forever. We got out of there right at the right time and picked up Luka Doncic at what age? 25, 26, right? This is perfect. This is exactly how you want to play the market. You want your players to be at a certain age, superstar level, get the most out of them, get a championship, get a Western Conference Finals appearance, and then cash out for something that is absolutely of value, absolutely better than what it is you gave up, and start that process over again. It don't get much better than that. It will not get much better than that. So for all of us who wanted to make trades, we got to make moves. I want Walker Kessler. I want Cam Johnson. I want Jeremy Grant for 2 picks. Although I didn't hear too many people celebrating that. But like, a lot of people wanted us to give them picks up for something a lot worse than Luka Doncic, to say the least, absolute least. And I just want to know what all those people are talking about right now. I just want to hear what their thoughts are. I just want to hear them. Because there's a lot of prominent figures on this Laker Nation thing, on this NBA thing, talking about Lakers need to give up 2 picks. If they're not giving up 2 picks, we got to fire Rob Pelinka. Well, he gave up 2 picks, but not for none of that stuff that y'all were talking about. For something significantly greater, because he did what it is I've been talking about, which is treating this market like it's double dutch and waiting for a great opportunity instead of just a decent one to silence the critics who don't even know the game he's playing. I will admit I'd grown frustrated with Rob Pelinka too, but not for the same reasons. But the bigger picture was, when we moved on from D'Angelo Russell, bringing in Dorian Finney-Smith, what was likely going on was he knew he had a line drive on Luka Doncic when he made that trade. He was already negotiating for Luka Doncic when he made that trade. And he knew this was going to be a piece that would help Luka through the process of what it is we're going through now, which is him not being all that damn happy, giving us some defensive help, giving us that catch and shoot player that helps both him, LeBron, and Austin get their assist off. So if you would have told me, hey, we're moving on from D'Angelo Russell, we're not bringing back a ball handler, but we got a line drive on Luka Doncic coming in about 3 weeks, then I'd have shut my mouth. Okay, this is a great trade. Because it prepared us for the trade that ultimately was coming. I didn't think there was a contingency plan, or didn't have any evidence of any contingency plan to provide me that point guard. So I was frustrated. I didn't really hate the Dorian Finney-Smith deal. I just thought he was a little washed, for which he's proven he actually ain't. He ain't really washed at all. But that's how I perceived him. And that was what I was going by. You brought me this guy, but you didn't bring me nothing that can make my offense go. Other than Austin Reeves and LeBron James, it's not enough ball handling, not enough passing, not enough. I'm asking guys, as you remember hearing my spiel several times after the Dorian trade. I like Dorian, but where's my point guard? Get me somebody, get me somebody. Well, he got me the somebody. He didn't just get me a playmaker. He went and got the very best one. And the fullness of the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, in hindsight, was great. Great. You definitely don't want D'Angelo Russell in this situation. Dorian Finney-Smith was a specific piece that catered to the comfort, both on the court and off the court, for Luka Doncic. That's what Dorian was about. He was bringing him somebody he was familiar with, somebody he wanted to play with, somebody who wanted to play with him, to make this easy transition possible. Because at the end of the day, if you're Rob Pelinka, you saw this coming. You knew he wasn't going to be happy about this trade. You knew he was going to need some familiar faces around here and some familiar pieces to make his game go. He wasn't going to want to just get incorporated into something new overnight off the bat as a superstar. That's really awkward. You need some people around here who were familiar with his game and they could still do some of that stuff that he loved to do in Dallas. That's what the Dorian trade was about. That's why Christian Wood wasn't traded. That's why Maxi Clay was probably still here. So I just feel like that when you have the fullness of the picture, and I probably alluded to that once or twice, but probably not that much. But when you have the fullness of the picture, you know what's coming next. You can see why people make certain decisions. You see what the vision is. And when you see the full picture, now the trades that they make more sense to you. That's all I needed, was the full picture. Now I'm fine with the Dorian Finney-Smith trade. It makes a lot of sense to me. I would have suggested it if I'd have knew it was coming. Like, yeah, you probably should bring him some pieces that he's familiar with. Should probably bring him somebody that he's definitely friends with. Is it going to cost D'Angelo Russell? It's going to cost some second rounders? Yeah, for sure, do that. Because I know the piece that D'Angelo Russell is going to make people better. But the last thing I need is D'Angelo Russell on this roster right now. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, even my criticism, just required to see the bigger picture. And I wish I would have said that a little more, although I did allude to that maybe once or twice. If we could see what they've got going on, see the fullness of it, then maybe it makes sense. Maybe you look at what they did and you say, yeah, I can do that. That makes sense. Otherwise, it just looks like an isolated trade that is incomplete and left our team without the pieces necessary to do what it needs to do, function properly. So, this is great. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we held our picks till we saw the right move and then made the move we needed to make our team as good as it ultimately is going to be. I'm not unhappy with the Mark Williams trade. I don't think it was a discount by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's the value cost of what it is that ultimately we're building for a guy like Mitch Kupchak in a very, very small market, has never had a real winning situation. You had to make it make sense for him to give away Mark Williams. And even though I think he would be willing to move a 23-year-old center who affects winning, I don't think he would just do it without it being worth his while, especially when that kid is playing his best ball. And I don't think you make this move unless you've seen him play his best ball. Just the same. Because if he's not playing the way he played this last January, I sound a lot like everybody who's not happy with this trade right now, who said we overpaid. Because that's exactly what it is, minus the evidence of him playing like an all-star over the last 3 weeks. So, Mark Williams is a very productive center, but without the presence of the understanding that he's been balling, it is definitely something that it just looks like you picked up an injury-prone center. And so I understand where people are coming from. They just don't understand what the hell they just picked up. That's all that is. They're lacking in the understanding of what Mark Williams is expected to bring to the table. Some of those people who are upset at Mark Williams also don't know how old he is. See, a lot of us were happy if we could have brought in older centers. We were like, okay, let's get Clint Capella. Nah, man, hell no. I ain't wasting no picks on Clint Capella when I can get a 23-year-old center named Mark Williams. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wasting no money on Valanciunas. No picks on Valanciunas when I can get Mark Williams. And like I said yesterday in the video that I was just reacting to this situation, I don't think you waste any time being frustrated about Walker Kessler. Because Walker Kessler was somebody that we would have had to significantly overpay, not just because of how well he's been playing, but because of who holds his rights. Danny Ainge, a Celtic. That Celtic evil is always going to look to fleece you. And I love how they handled him. I love how they handled him. Because what they did was they sent him Jalen Hood-Schifino to help facilitate the Luka Doncic trade, but they didn't let him know that that's what he was doing. And they knew damn well that would hurt his soul if he would usher the Lakers Luka Doncic. That would hurt his Celtic soul. That would hurt his greedy hand soul. Because that's exactly what he is when it comes to hoarding picks. He would have done everything he could to keep that great player from being in our uniform. Anybody who knows of him knows that. He would have tried to throw every monkey wrench in that situation to keep that kid from coming our way. He probably would have gave away all them picks he's hoarding so that he could have outbid us to get him here, to Utah, to keep him from coming here, just so he wouldn't come our way. And we made him and his greedy self facilitate that move without him knowing it. And to me, that was psychologically perfect. That's exactly what I want to do to one of our ferocious competitors in severe ops in a GM situation, always looking to take advantage of people and their circumstances, take their young players. He's such an awful guy as it pertains to. Look at all them point guards he's hoarding up there in Utah, man. He didn't trade Colin Sexton to a winning situation. He didn't trade Jordan Clarkson to a winning situation. Holding on to John Collins. Knowing them guys got to suffer in Utah with people like George behind them. Collier playing well. Knowing them boys ain't going to get no opportunities. Knowing they're in a prime who need an opportunity to be in a winning situation. A man who played this game at the level that he played, you would think that he would have a heart for those guys, but he didn't give a crap about them. He let them sit there in prime years when they should be trying to win a championship and playing for bigger contracts behind his young players because he couldn't fleece somebody to ultimately get them off his team. He wasn't going to do a fair deal. He was going to make damn sure he fleeced anybody that tried to go after Sexton, Clarkson, or Collins. He was going to fleece you. That's what I'm talking about, that greed, that evil greed that's in him. And we gave him the proverbial finger. That's what the Lakers did. Since he want to hike up the price on everything he have and hoard players in their 30s trying to win, they can't win because they stuck behind him and his paywall. That's exactly what's going on there. That is exactly what's going on there. He knows, and I know, if he were in those players' position, he would be praying for an opportunity to be traded to a winning team. He knows that. He's been in that seat, and he does not care. And that's why I don't like Danny Ainge at all. I do not like him. He's always looking to fleece somebody like he fleeced the Minnesota Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert. It's wickedness. That's all I got to say. As it pertains to sports, that's wickedness. You know damn well them dudes are going to retire without ever winning, and it's because you couldn't find a trade that would take advantage of somebody else in order for you to get too damn much in their return. That's whack of him, super whack of him. And he deserved that proverbial finger. And that's exactly what I got to say about that. So kudos to the Los Angeles Lakers for giving him that. He deserved that. Just like Clarkson, Sexton, Collins deserve to be in winning situations in their prime, for which they're not afforded to because they're stuck over there with him. My condolences to Marcus Smart and Middleton in the same situation, or a worse one even, in Washington. They stuck there. They got traded there, knowing damn well they're win now players, knowing damn well Middleton's situation, he got to opt in or not get his money, settle for significantly less money in order to get off a god-awful losing team, tanking team. It's horrible what they did to them two men. Marcus Smart is a player who's ready to help a championship team. Middleton's a previous champion. You know damn well he got to opt into his contract. And he's going to be stuck on a team that's looking to lose on purpose. And in this point in his career, it's criminal, yo. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. The team ain't looking to win no time soon. They're going to tank this year. They're going to tank next year. And the boys going to be sitting there wasting prime years with little energy they may have left to contribute to some winning on teams that are looking to tank on purpose behind a bunch of players that have never probably even played this game before. These kids are so young. They're so young. They're fresh out of high school, most of the Wizards. It's an awful situation. Players are being held hostage. You know, people laughing at Dennis Schroeder for saying modern day slavery. Maybe it might be disrespectful to my ancestors. Maybe. But at the end of the day, I can see where he's coming from when you consider circumstances such as these. See how many times that boy was traded? Dennis Schroeder finally landed in Detroit, by the way. Danny Ainge was gracious enough to get him off the damn team. Because he was traded there after being traded from the... He was traded so many places, it's hard to even keep up. Same thing with PJ Tucker. He was traded like 7 different places. I'm exaggerating, but like literally traded 5 times in like 1 day, 2 days. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna say they're modern day slaves, but does that look like that's something that's free? Does that look like freedom to you? I don't know, man. You tell me. So that's my point of view. I just think that a lot of people may have laughed at Dennis Schroeder when he said that, or were feeling he was disrespectful or what have you. But when you're in their seat, I'd imagine the money don't always make up for everything, man. Somebody can give you $1 million and tell you to roll around in feces. You may do it as bad as you need the money, but it's a hell of an experience to have to go through just to secure some wealth. You have memories of doing that, trauma that come with doing that. I mean, not every money don't cure all. Least of all, the perspective of a person. What sucks, sucks. Whether you're getting money for it or not, the experience itself is trash. The uncertainty and the stress of it itself is trash. It's not a good experience. Money doesn't heal you from that. It just makes it so that you put yourself through it. And that's why I'm of the mindset that the experience, in some cases, isn't worth it. But however it goes, man, at the end of the day, these guys are playing basketball. They're doing what they love to do, and hopefully through the contractual circumstances, they're able to actually play. Because in a lot of these cases, they're not. And that's the part where it becomes messed up. You know what I'm going to say. A guy like Duncan Robinson spent 3 years on the back of the Heat bench because they were afraid to play him because they paid him too much. A lot of money. He's here to play ball. He's barely getting around to playing ball now because the contract's now to a space where they're not afraid to run him around. Like, that's how poor a decision was made above his head. And yeah, he got the wealth that came with it, but he missed some prime years. Missed some prime years. That's why this Clarkson and Sexton situation is so egregious to me. It's just exactly what's happening there. The way Sexton's balling right now, he needs to be in a winning situation right now. He ain't going to be playing at this level by the time Danny Ainge finds a trade for him. Clarkson's 31 years old. Barely going to get on the floor, playing behind 21-year-olds. Like, what are we doing? Nobody see a problem with that, huh? I guess. And that is why BDF speaks the way I do. That's exactly why I speak the way I do. If somebody somewhere has to point out how ridiculous these experiences could potentially be for these guys. They're making a lot of money, but the reality of their circumstances, what they got to go through to secure that bag, it's not what the dream is about. It's not what the dream is about. That's basically what it comes down to. It's not what they were dreaming of. Maybe they're happy with the money. A lot of people are happy with the money, but not everybody's about just the money. Some people genuinely love the sport. They want to win. They want to compete. The money just comes with what it is they love to do. If they can only get money and they can't do what they love to do, then the experience, it's a waste, man. It's a waste. So I don't know, man. You tell me. Maybe they can wipe their tears with $100 bills or something. I don't know. But for me, looking at the experience of it all, I think that's screwed up either way. Whether they're getting paid a lot or not, it's a bad experience. And money does not cure that in my mind. Not really. Not actually. So, yeah, that's my point of view, man. I don't know. Hopefully it works out for all these guys. Hopefully they get to help develop young players and feel like big brothers in these losing situations. But as for me, I think they would be best in situations like what we have, win-now opportunities. Like Boston has, like Cleveland has, win-now opportunities for players like Clarkson and Sexton and Collins and Middleton, Smart, and other players in them type of situations all over the league. And it would be great if the collective bargaining agreement that comes around next time takes in consideration some stuff like that. Players like that should be easily bought out. Easily, it shouldn't be as difficult to get them into winning situations. So yeah, that's what it is. That's how I see it, and that's what I stand on. But yeah, man, that's pretty much my take on things for that. I think now I look up and I say I understand why LeBron James wanted a no trade clause. You know what I mean? When you see how his boy Anthony Davis was traded like a thief in the night for a better opportunity, you best believe we would have did the same thing for LeBron James too. If he didn't have a no trade clause, he'd probably been on first thing smoking too for a young 23-year-old. Yeah, I ain't mad at nobody who wants a no trade clause. Now, whether or not you should have one, totally different story. But that you want one, I ain't mad at you. They'll send you to Timbuktu with a toilet seat around your neck. I kid you not. It's like they did Middleton. So a guy like Bradley Beal sitting up saying, nah, you couldn't trade me such and such. I don't care that you want such and such. I'm where I want to be. And they look, as you can clearly see, Jimmy's in Golden State. He ain't in Phoenix. They wasn't about to send Bradley Beal nowhere he didn't want to go, man. They didn't have a choice. Even if they found somebody to take that contract, they needed his okay to do it. I think it's a win for him. And I think that's exactly what the governors and the owners are at war with. They hate that type of leverage going to these basketball players. And, for the fullness of what a owner is responsible for throughout the duration of a timeline, I understand their perspective. We're responsible for 20, 30 years of this organization. The players are responsible for themselves. We're responsible for however many players throughout the duration of that time. Players are responsible for themselves, so they shouldn't have the ability to dictate so much of what happens to the organization, because it affects other people other than themselves. So that, from that perspective, the system itself works against both parties. But at the same time, can't be mad at players when their lives are uprooted, or when they're stuck in bad situations, or when their careers end abruptly and people ain't paying them properly. Salute the Kobe man. You can't get mad at these players for that, for wanting that player empowerment movement to continue to stay in place. You can't blame these guys, because you'll send them anywhere at any time and they won't even know what the hell happened until somebody tells them. A guy like Luka Doncic wakes up to find out he's been traded, knowing that he's deserving of the money that they're keeping from him, knowing damn well that his fan base is miserable about it. He can't do nothing about it. The fan base can't do nothing about it. He just got to go where they tell him to go. You're not a slave, but the experience sucks. You understand what I'm saying? He's rich, but he ain't getting the money he's supposed to get. And they say, well, if you keep on running around for us for the next 6 years, then you come around to be able to get that money. I was supposed to get it now, though, if I'm him. Well, I got to wait 6 years for something that I'm due to get right now. Because somebody decided that I'm not due that for reasons of their own. The money is great. The experience sucks. I'm happy that I got Luka on my team for my reasons. Is he happy to be here? About as happy as he's forced to be based on him being here against his will. Like, literally. I don't know, man. I hope he doesn't take it out on us by leaving us and going somewhere else. But he has every right to when he's a free agent. The money that he's supposed to get prior to any extension that he gets supposed to be worth it for him to forego that opportunity to choose. And that's his choice, to forego his freedom to choose. Many players do to get the money, but they end up hating the experience in a lot of cases. Ask Blake Griffin. After he signed his contract, he chose the Clippers, and they sent him to Detroit with 5 years left on the deal. Detroit was a bottom feeder with no picks. Sent him to hell. He had to stay there for like 3 years. Spend his best years when it's time to chase a championship in a situation that was bad, without any path to it getting any good, until basically right now, well after he retired. But he's $100 million richer or whatever it was. I guess that made up for it. Far be it him getting back his energy and in the prime basketball that he was supposed to be giving himself in a Clipper uniform for which he chose. Can't get that back, but he's wealthy, so I guess that's what it's supposed to be about. I don't know, man. The experience sucks. Check's good, but the experience sucks. So you tell me, man. Maybe it's supposed to be worth it. I don't know. I personally like my freedom. I'm not a rich man by any stretch of the imagination, but being able to walk down the street and do what I want to do, that freedom sure really feels nice to me. You can give me $100 million, I can buy myself a wonderful mansion, and then I don't have no control over the experiences of my life until the contract's done. Now I'm like, all right, I got to play where you tell me to play through pain, whatever I got to, rush back on the court, play with whoever I got to play with, all the people around me. Maybe they're cool, maybe they're not. The environment itself could suck. The whole thing could suck. Everything could suck about it. But the money, I still go home to the money. The stress I'm going through probably take 10 years off my life. But the money, I can hand to my wife. I just think we got it backwards. I really do. A lot of us have it backwards. It's not really a sports conversation, but I think we got it backwards, man. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.